we got a problem here. So this is Trailer Score. I'm joined with Mr. Kyle Bossman, Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about the trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is, without any question in my mind whatsoever, my favorite trailer of the show. This Jose Canseco came to the plate. They pitched it low and inside, and he put it right through some guy's windshield in the parking lot. I mean, one of the whole reasons why I just completely go bonkers for trailers is it's so obvious to tell how much work you put into it. And then if you didn't put a lot of work into it, is that because you're stressed out and you don't have faith in your product, or you have a bad marketing team, or you're choosing more to focus on your game? I mean, this is beyond legendary. This concept of bringing this game back, and it's the one thing that I kept thinking about that kind of made me easily settle back into the mood of like, this is never happening. We're never getting a remake. It's fun. It's like a fun thing to joke about.
Yeah.
And it would be great. To be perfectly honest, I'd rather have a Final Fantasy VI remake than a Final Fantasy VII. But that's another point. It's not like 7 hasn't gotten any love or anything. We've gotten like 8 offshoot games, we got like Advent Children, which a lot of this seems based on. So like, what do you do? I mean, like, that is, if you really put like a bunch of Final Fantasy VII fans in a room and told them like, what would you have ideas for a Final Fantasy VII remake? And they would just spit all this stuff out of it. Like, oh, you can make this better or this better. Oh, imagine that one scene, or, the train chase, or, like Aeris's death, like, all these things, like, it would be so incredible. It's like, okay, what about the trailer? And like, I don't think that would be as easy of a conversation. I think you would really have to rack your brain about like, oh yeah, what do we show? Like, how do we?
And I think most people would go off the wall.
That?
Yeah.
You look at each one of the Final Fantasy games is just the most amazing soundtrack ever, and it just goes from like good to just amazing. Some are better than others. Depending on how you feel. But it's like you have all of these tracks. What do you pick? And from the dialogue that he's saying, the image that you're looking at, the music that you're listening to, and the cast. Which is crazy, to build anticipation with cast names, with credits that usually are saved for the end, but to just slowly drop those in. So it just keeps hammering home like, we're doing it, guys. And you keep wanting to say no. You keep thinking, no, it's something else. It's a movie, it's a TV show, it's a Kickstarter campaign. There's gonna be some trick at the end of this, and there is no trick. It lands at the end, and it's like, down to the point that they're like, if there was any concern, remake. And it actually never says Final Fantasy VII, which is amazing. It even goes that far to know that like, we can literally just show you this orb.
That's
with
meteor.
The meteor with this, with the fire streaming off of it, and you know exactly what it is. And I think you know exactly what it is, just like how I feel when I see Dishonored and I pick up on these hints, the way you feel, Ian, when you see that Dark Souls thing and you pick up on those hints. The entire trailer is those hints. Like, the entire trailer is like a good horror film that is not like, the killer's there. You see the killer in the back? You're like, yes, I saw him. Thanks, movie. You don't need to like, have a music trill and like have all the lighting point in that direction. Like, let me figure something out.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like, even the reveal, like, if you didn't figure it out by now, it's still like, it's the back of Cloud and Barrett. It's that sword and that gun. Like.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that is the VO, the narration, working two ways. Yes, it makes sense in the context of the game's story, but it's saying, the reunion is here. They will be back at that moment when you see Cloud's sword. And even before that, what poetry. A line! It's
what
so
a line!
Genius.
Every line in there is directed to the fans.
But the best one that's directed at fans. I was driving a motor vehicle when this happened, and literally I was like starting to get chills because I'm like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I love the line that he's like, if this reunion brings joy or fear,
yes,
let us just celebrate their return.
Yeah,
it's like, let us just pause in this moment right now. You guys are all watching around the world. We have the people in watching on the streams, people in the theater, people in other theaters. Like, Sony had so you can imagine all these little explosions that were happening around the world of all of these people at their local theaters watching the Sony press conference, with all of their friends and just like losing their minds everywhere. And it just had this idea about like, just don't think about this too hard. So you're like really thinking about everything that could go wrong. Don't think about when you're getting this. Don't think about anything. Just know that like the promise has been made. Like we are coming out on stage right now. We are making that promise. And if this project doesn't happen, we are going to have to own to that.
Yeah.
We are all going to share this moment. We're never going to forget it. Let's sit back and enjoy this. The first thing you see is just this random subway. You see South Edge on the map, and then they bring in one cast member, and the music is like, what's that? You really got to know 7 to know, like, oh, that's clearly a 7 track. He obviously teased it, so you might know what it is going into it. And then we get the slide, and then we get Midgar from a distance. And none of the shots, none of them that we're seeing are anything close to anything we saw in 7. None of this is like, oh yeah, that one shot
That's
from
what I
7.
love, man.
All of it's recreated.
It's not like
all of it's
it's
like
not something like iconic. Like, ooh, we have to show them a chocobo. It's just like, no, these are all
Right.
new things.
Well,
like,
no, but I think that's what's interesting though, because it's, when they did that PS3 whatever thing that like got people started on the whole remake train, like they kind of they did a complete shot for shot. But what's interesting with this is it still sticks to Midgar. It still keeps that feel and that vibe of the beginning of the game. It doesn't try to
before the beginning.
Yeah.
That it's like it's just about to happen. You're here. It's like it's like this. Like right when it went to black, that was it. That was the beginning of 7. That was the beginning of this huge journey, which ends in Sephiroth and the live stream and all of this. It's like this is the launch point.
Yeah.
And just how they slowly, just director Tetsuya Nomura. It's like what are you guys doing to me? And just slowly baiting those things. And it's just like you have a dog treat and your dog's just staring at you, just like please, and you're just holding it out because the dog's gonna get it, and you're just like really cherish this, really enjoy this treat I'm about to give you.
The music's definitely worth talking about as well because it's scary. It's like Jaws is coming. And it's the announcement that's coming.
Yeah.
It's serving that purpose.
But it might not. If you're listening to this creepy music, that might mean we're about to break your hearts.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The music could have been very celebratory and like cheesy, and it's not that. It's amazing.
And then it finally, like right when that enters our brain and we realize that sword and what we're looking at, and it's like, oh my God, it's all coming together. That's when it's like, I don't know if that's Cloud's theme or if that's the main theme of Final Fantasy VII. When I did the Final Fantasy retrospective, that's the track that I picked when I started the conversation about 7. When I actually had the thing that said 7. Like now we're going into it. That was like the lead-in thing. Are you ready, Kyle?
Oh,
Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down.
This is a 10.
Brandon never gives a game. That's his first 10 on this show.
This is a 10.
Whoa.
This is a 10. They did it. I mean, guys, for the record, I'm not a huge 7 fan. Like, I loved Advent Children. I played a little bit Crisis Core. I played like a lot of other offshoots of 7. I have played 7, start to finish. I've seen other people play 7. I did the FF Retro. Like, I'm familiar with these characters and stories. I probably won't play this all the way through. But I cannot possibly think how you could have better done this. I'm at a loss. From who got on stage and announced it, to putting it right next to Shenmue, to just the way you slowly, the way you trusted your audience, the way you trusted people to absorb this announcement, and it's not something that is like I got that one hit and then it's just not coming back later. It's just every time I watch it now. This is probably the 8th time I see it, and I still just got chills. And this is not my favorite Final Fantasy game. Right. I'm not one of those people that's just been begging for this remake. And well done, man. I mean, just wow.
Hubert would be so happy.
The writing, the titles. I mean, just the sound effect when Remake at the end there. I mean,
it's huge.
Just everything.
It explodes.
Just everything. It's all of a sudden. There's in one moment you're huddled in the corner, crying, shivering, pleading, please God, give me everything that I want, and then just in a second, you're in a jacuzzi with a fine beverage, and there's confetti and balloons, and the clouds part and everything. I mean, it's just They had you in the palm of their hand, and then they raised you up to Valhalla, and all is well in the Final Fantasy universe. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, just the flower. I mean, there's just so many little touches, and it looks awesome, and who knows if it's an engine, they definitely make you wonder that too. Who knows?
No. That's all CG, baby.
Actually, that is
sweet CG.
Again, about not going too far and conjecturing. Like you could start all kinds of crazy threads about like what does this mean and what's it going to look like and etc.
Brandon, I never thought I would see you give a 10 to any trailer. That's pretty crazy. I'm obviously giving this a 10. For most of the same reasons you just communicated, Brandon. I freaking love the word remake. I love the way this is handled. Basically, when you get a 10, you say this is an innovative trailer and it couldn't have been better, and that is what this is. And, it's not like it's flawless, but it's just like this is handling this announcement way better than I could ever imagined, and way better than most other people would have done. It's crazy this game is happening, but it's crazier how good this trailer was. That's really it gives me so much hope for what this is. I used to think I didn't want a Final Fantasy VII trailer or remake, and because I thought it'd be stupid. And there's nothing stupid about that trailer. Do you know what I mean? They handled it so perfectly, so smart, so artfully. God, that's a good trailer.
Mr. Blood, no pressure or anything.
You don't need that calculator.
Put the calculator away.
And I already decided that before you guys revealed yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're trying to communicate really why specifically this edit, the conceptualizing, the storyboarding, the art, the music, the select. I mean, it's literally not just like, hey, this announcement happened. Like, it's not just we're writing that, the coattails of that announcement.
And I'm in the same boat as you, and like, I actively disliked 7 more and more after a certain point in the game. So it's not my favorite, but there is something about the beginning of that game and the times that, like, when it was first revealed and everything, there's like, it just grabs you so hard, and they've recaptured that in this, and it's like, I want to see all of it now. I just want to see this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very first 10,
The Triple Crown.
To Final Fantasy VII.
Wow.
And I mean, I gotta be honest. Like, on one hand, I feel bad, just like, should I give it a 10? It's just don't do that lightly. On the other hand, like, what on earth could ever possibly like come out and have the opportunity that this had? And I think maybe that's another thing that just satisfies me so much is it was such an opportunity. I mean, can you imagine like once they actually inked that deal, whether that was like 2 months ago or something, when it finally happened, and they're like, yes, we like, Square was like, do it, put it at the press conference. We have this video that we're just finishing up. And from that moment that you piece this together and you have this idea, it's like, okay, here's exactly how we're going to do this.
It's insane, man. It's insane because it's like, it's better than Advent Children. You know what I mean? Advent Children's like a little weird, and everything's like a little weird. It's just like everything is perfect
and really calm. And and the Final Fantasy games are zany. They have lots of crazy characters and lots of cool stuff that they could do. I mean, just think about like Killer Instinct when that got announced. That remake, and they were just like, Killer Instinct, cut gameplay.
Yeah.
It was just that there was nothing. There's no build or whatever. There's no like logo reveal or picking the right character or sound effect. Like when the Doom teaser, when the door opens up, that classic like Doom sound effect. And this, I mean, it's like acupuncture. It literally just hits all your high points. They just know exactly where they got you.
Yeah.
And they put it in there. Making history, E3 2015, first 10 across the board. Congratulations, Square Enix, on not only making people's dreams come true, but making the badass trailer that you did. Maybe we're spoiling that it might end up being the best trailer at our awards for E3. We'll see what the rest of the staff thinks about it. But you know what we three think. Thank you, guys. And see you next episode.